Hi everyone, my name is Alvi Munchal, and today's video we're going to talk about the 174 reclamation on Dumaguete City near its bay. Now we're going to tackle shortly what is this 174 reclamation in Dumaguete and how we can relate this on environmental science. So let's go. So this 174 hectare reclamation in the Dumaguete Bay is an act of dumping soil, ground, or sand on the sea or the bay to create a artificial land to extend the space there in Dumaguete. This is an act on where the local government hopes to boost the economy, locally provide more jobs for the people, and this project is called the Smart City. And yes, this will cover 174 hectares of ocean space, which will soon become an extension to the city. Now, how is this related to the environmental science? Because this concern affects the marine life, to where since this will be dumping of soil to the coast, most comments or those people against this are most likely their concern are to prevent the damage to the coastal area, and also the fishes live there, and the source of income for many of the citizens living near the coast as well, because they won't be able to fish, or since what the experts said that by doing this reclamation will actually really decrease the population of the fish. And yes, that's what this is about. And since this is environmental science, and this concern brought up to how we can make our environment better, or how we can improve. So after this announcement, this reclamation become publicly on the project of Smart City, there's a lot of feedback. So there are people who are against this, and there are people who approve to this. Now we are going to discuss what are the pros and cons in this process. First, since we are looking at this in a environmental science perspective, of course our concern is the environment and the wildlife in this project that will be affected. So since it is on the bay, it's on this issue would brought up to the marine life, the damage of corals, and of course fishes that will live there. It will disrupt the natural flow of water, the migration of fishes, especially that Dumaguete Bay is well known for a place to where it is naturally to where sardines migrate. And since the space of the ocean is pushed back a few hectares because of the reclamation, yes, that will disrupt its natural process. Of course, since it will be dumping soil, it will most likely that it will result to the death of plantains, because plantains will most likely die if they are exposed to erode soil, or the dust that will be mixed with the water or in the ocean. So of course, since there will be dead plantains, the mollusk and all the crustaceans that rely on feeding on the plantains will also be affected, and will most likely likewise since if those crustaceans will be consumed by human, of course that would be a high risk of red tide. And actually, aside from that, the impact it brought to the marine life Also, it is also said that the livelihood of fishermen will also be affected, and so that are the contrast on those actions. And on my perspective, the positive side on this is that I do agree with the local government that this will really boost the economy locally, and of course nationally if it's a big hit. This smart city project will really bring a lot of jobs to the people in Dumaguete, and since a lot of people are struggling because of the pandemic, and it's very hard to make a living, and I think this is a very big opportunity to boost or to provide more jobs to the people and be able to sustain their daily life. And I think a very good example of this is how Japan is doing the same thing. Now, the most of the concern here is that it will damage the environment. However, I see it in a different way, and I noticed I was there in Manila, to where the biggest mall in the Philippines was built, and I was told that this was a reclamation, and of course I was surprised. I said, really? And yes, they said that this will take away the living or the way of living of most fishermen. However, when I take a stroll on that reclaimed area, I saw fishermen, and yet they caught fish. I think although this action will damage corals, however, I think the very factor that affects the population of the fish is how fishers fish the ocean, if it's overfished or not. I think the marine life over time will be able to adapt the changes of their environment, as long as they will be nurtured by the people and will not be overfished. And also, as I mentioned earlier, that on the case in Japan, where they, on the central Tokyo, they were able to reclaim areas to where the ground of that area, instead of dumping all the dirt, they were using uncombustible waste garbage. And I think I researched on that. It's very sustainable. It's very successful. Aside from it provides space for new commercial buildings and jobs, boosting the economy, it was also the act of where they were addressing the garbages that they are producing, humans are producing. I think it would be very good for Dumaguete to proceed with that project, adapting what Japan did, using the garbages as one of the things that is processed, garbage that is processed, so that it can become not a threat to the environment when it is placed on that reclamation. And also that will really save money in that project, reduce garbage, and yes, boost the demands of jobs here in Dumaguete. I see that is one of the major problems we are facing now.